From ghosted to dating celebrities, in this video, I'm gonna break down my entire dating journey into 4 parts. In every part, I'm going to tell you how it happened and the lessons learned. Because I didn't start here. I didn't start as the seasoned vet that is dating public figures and celebrities like this. I didn't start there. Nobody does. It was a journey from zero game to getting ghosted, to ups and downs to this point. And in this video, I'm gonna break it all down and all the lessons I learned so that you can be a better man when it comes to women dating. So you can actually have the love life and date the women you truly desire, you know you're built for. So this is my age in the journey. Okay, so let's start at 13 to 17. Yeah, I was a young buck. I loved women from an early age. Zero game, okay? This is the era in my dating journey where things were unequivocally the worst they've ever been. Because I knew nothing. Because I was just jumping in headfirst into women and trying to date and having no idea what the hell I was doing. And so at this age, I was chasing women all the fucking time. Okay? Like when I mean chasing women, I mean blowing up their phones, sending texts on texts on texts, trying to hit on them, trying to compliment them, trying to get their attention. It was a bad existence. It was pretty abysmal. I had the nice guy syndrome. Okay, to a really bad degree. Like I was so fucking nice to these girls, giving them the benefit of the doubt. This is also the time in my life in which I actually got red-pilled on the brutal truth of women and dating from my own mother. Okay, I'll tell you this quick story. It intertwines chasing, being nice, and being red-pilled all in one. This is the story. Homecoming comes around freshman year. I asked this girl to homecoming who was like kind of like a settling option anyways. I was never dating the women I truly desired in this era. Never. So I text this girl, I don't remember how I asked her. I think I texted her. This girl that I was okay with going with, but she wasn't my top option or my top fucking 5 options for that matter. And I said something about homecoming. And she said, I'll let you know. And so I told my mom, and I was like, this girl told me she would let me know. I asked her to homecoming. And she was like, uninvite her right now. I'm like, what? She's like, never let a woman say, I'll let you know. That means no. That means she's gonna string you along. I'm 14 at the time. I'm like, really? Are you sure? Like, what if she has something? My mom, who is a savage and who understands women extremely well, told me and put me on fucking game. And so I said, you know what? I'm busy now. I actually have a fucking date. And that is the moment I started to see the light of getting red-pilled. Even though I don't consider myself a red-pill guy. That is the moment I started to become awake to the reality of women dating. But it didn't stick, okay? That was a glimmer of the light at the end of the tunnel, but it did not stick. Because this entire era, I was so bad with women. I literally never got the women I actually wanted, ever. Like, I was always settling, we'll call them 6s. I had a couple cute girls here and there, but like, when we're talking about the top girls at the school, I didn't have those. I didn't get those. Not even, kind of close, but not even fucking close, okay? The biggest lessons I took from this young adolescent time in my life, when I was a mere minor, is you have to take your effort from 100 to 0, okay? My effort with attractive women, I remember there was like a handful of really, really attractive women at different high schools around in my area that I was so into. I remember it, to this day, I remember them. Taylor and Catherine, oh my god, bro. Like they were like the fucking World Cup, okay? They were everything when I was 15 years old. And my effort to try and get them, which did not work, surprisingly, was at 100. And so, massive lesson during this era is take the effort from 100 to 0. Because we all know when you put in immense amounts of effort towards women, they just drive away. It just hurls them through the window. Goodbye is basically what I was doing when I had all of this effort. Never chase. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. At least when you're not chasing, yeah, you may not get the girl, but at least you have your head up high. When you're chasing like I was chasing, very aggressively, I was in such a position of weakness. No girl was going to be into me. No girl was going to respect me. I mean, it was just clear as day. From the moment I started doing anything in this time in my life, I was here, they were up here. How do you think that's going to pan out? Obviously fucking terribly. So never chase women. Also, stop acting desperate. These all go hand in hand. When you put in tons of effort, you are seen as desperate. You're seen as a guy that needs these girls, that has no other options. As a result, it is one gigantic loop of rejection, of getting ghosted, of no intrigue, because no girl wants a guy that's desperate. No girl wants a guy that doesn't have other options. And I was exuding that I wanted them so bad by desperation that of course none of them fucking wanted me. And so I had 0 game. And I was getting ghosted. And I just kept fucking going and going and going. Now, we go to 18 to 22 and things start to change because I'm starting to develop a frontal lobe a tiny bit and I'm starting to kind of learn these things a little bit. I'm starting to observe my behavior. Oh, she responded well to that. She didn't respond well to that. Interesting. I'm starting to get some sort of data. Okay? This was my biggest fuckboy era. It's not even close. 18 to 22 because I went to a party school. Okay? I went to a massive college. I was in Greek life. I did it fucking all. And so the game of women and dating, when you're at a party school and you're in Greek life, a good Greek fraternity, it's pretty fucking easy. There was a lot of guys, ugly, not that cool, getting laid. Simply off the fact that we had social status and there was built-in trust and girls are just partying. Like when you're just partying all the time, women and dating is just easier at a party school when everyone's partying in college. And so I had a lot more success without improving a lot of my game because I was just naturally in an easier environment. And so I got a girlfriend. I didn't care. If you look at my last video, you know how that ended up. Social circle and the culture was key. It was everything. And that also showed me and taught me something about female psychology. It taught me that women are actually drawn to compete. They're drawn and will do behaviors based on competition. And when you're in this environment and you can throw a party at your fraternity and the ratio is 3 to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, it's so easy because they're all competing. Women are drawn by competition. And I really realized that at this age. And this is when I started to improve massively with the quality. The quality was going up. I was getting 7s, 8s, an occasional 9. And this is where I started to really get a lot more confident with women. A lot more. When I came into college, I was like so confident. And then this really put me on a lot of confidence, which propelled me to even better heights with women. The lessons here, the less I care, the better. At this point, I stopped giving a fuck because I was just partying and they were just everywhere. And so when you have like that much access, you don't really give a fuck. Like there's so many, who cares? When I adopted that mindset, everything got better. All the attraction got better. Social proof matters, okay? And so like, let's say right now, you're probably not a guy in a fraternity at a top college going out and shit, right? You're probably not right there in that phase of someone's life. So what you do is you can fabricate social proof, okay? You can fabricate it by how you describe your life, how you describe the things you do, and that is a driving force of attraction with women. Inflate your self-worth. Literally the confidence, the aura, the motion, the abundance, all the things that were clicking at this time in my life when I was the fuckboy doing whatever I wanted, had a long-term relationship, still did whatever I wanted, is because I had a high perceived worth. And I was treating them in a much different way. I was cocky, I had game, like my confidence was through the roof. So I was treating them differently. And so as a result, they were perceiving my worth as way higher than just 1 year ago at 17. Significantly higher. So be confident. Be cocky, inflate your worth, exaggerate a little bit, be a little bit mysterious. Who gives a shit? This will increase your perceived value to them, increase in their desire for you. Now, 23 to 25, I low-key got cooked in some of these years, for sure. And in every stage, by the way, there's like 1 or 2 girls that made such a big impact. In the moment, negatively. Out of the moment, positively, because I learned so much. Like the worst, you heard about 13 to 17, the couple of girls I thought were on the pedestal, but I also would like engage with girls and have like things with them and then get played. And that also taught me so much. I remember at this party, another story, a brutal story. Okay. I was at this party, small party. Okay. Not a big party. I was at this small party, senior in high school. I went with a few girls, some friends, and one of the girls I was like trying to get with more. We had made it out a party earlier, like weeks before. Okay. So we're kind of talking, but I want more. Like I liked her a lot. We're at this fucking party. Okay. We're at this party. I see she's like clearly with another guy. Like they're talking and they're flirting. And so I'm fucking pissed, right? And obviously we're not a thing, so I can't really say shit, but like I'm not fucking happy about the situation, obviously. I like this girl. I don't remember what happened, but I had to leave the party and come back. While I was gone from the party, I was like texting her like, dude, if you're with this guy, like, yeah, let me know. Like, obviously I like you. I was saying these things back then. They're really bad. Okay. They're really bad. I get back to the party. It turns out this fucking girl was airplaying her phone on the TV at the whole party. Not my text, but the notifications would come up. And so I saw my notification came up on the screen at the party when I get back. These things teach you things like you wouldn't believe. That's why when I talk about women and dating, it's like, dude, I have the battle to show you. Like I've been through it all. That really changed my perspective on nice guy syndrome. Holy shit. That's what happens. In the fuckboy era, my first long-term relationship taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. And also, just different girls here and there that really stood out. But specifically, the long-term relationship. And I also had other girls that were absolutely fucking in love with me that I didn't care about. And I started to realize female nature, right? So there's these girls that just are in these segments that literally taught me so much about women and female nature. Another girl, specifically, I don't want to say her name, during this era, okay, was obsessed with me. Like, I had a girlfriend, she was still obsessed with me, whatever. I didn't talk to her for like a year. And then I said, you want to go to Europe? Because I broke up with my girlfriend at the time. And she said, yup, dropped all her shit, paid for all her stuff, and went on a 2-week trip, just scumping me, literally on a week notice. And I didn't care about her at all. I didn't even like her. These things teach you so much about women. Okay, let's keep going because there's a couple key women in this phase too. That's why I'm kind of breaking them, going backwards and coming back. 23 to 25. Okay, when you leave college, especially a big college in Greek life, and you have all this options and all the social proof, and you go into the real world and you're in this basic ass job. And for me, I was in a new city and I had a small social circle. Dating was so rough. I still had feelings for my ex. It was difficult. Dating was so fucking rough. Okay, like I struggled, and I was very naive because I still had the mentality of a boyfriend. This happens so many times that I work with guys that get out of long-term relationships and they're back on the dating market. They're like, what on earth do I do? Because you're in boyfriend mode. You're in husband mode. You're in this mindset and this mentality that kills you with dating, destroys you. I was in that mode. So I left college and my dating fucking tanked. Girls flaking left and right. I literally was seeing this girl from work just because of proximity. Like, my dating was rough because I was still in boyfriend mode. There's 2 girls in this era. Actually, 3. Call them 3 girls. Let me actually run through the era, then I'll tell you about the 3. So, during this time when I was like 24, I got a girlfriend from college. I knew her at college. We reconnected. I left her because she was super selfish, didn't support me. I wanted to start a business. She was just shitty, but really hot. So, like, at this point, I'm starting to date more nines often. Okay, I went through a period of naive and shitty, and then I finally pick it back up around 25, and I'm dating like that girl was really hot, runway models that were very attractive. So the quality is like slowly starting to increase as I'm like learning you have to basically learn the entire game back after you get out of a relationship, after you leave college. Shit is not easy. You have to learn how to talk to women, attract women, all these things. But I was still really naive. I will say this. I was still really naive to women and their true nature. Lessons. Women are very selfish. I'll get to that when I talk about the girls. The more you do, the worse. Always. And I thought I learned that there, but it changes when you like a girl. When you like a girl, when you fall for a girl, when you lose frame, when you lose retention. I went through that massively here. Women love men that will prioritize themselves. 1,000 fucking percent. One big realization I had during this period of my life is I started a business and I went all in, and I've been an entrepreneur since. And I remember when I started a business and I stopped prioritizing girls less, they liked me more. It was like the biggest mind fuck of all time. Because up until then, I was a chaser, basically. I chased women, I loved women, I just pursue. And then I flipped the dynamic on its head, and I really was just working more, and I would see them here and there. And the result was so great, I couldn't even comprehend the dynamic shift. When you prioritize yourself, still date, but prioritize yourself, women are fucking obsessed with you. Always put yourself first. Emotional energy is all. I realize this a lot. So not to go too crazy deep, but I went through kind of an awakening during this time in my life. And I started to really get into energy and mindset and aura, all these things. When I started to focus on this and was just more centered and grounded in myself, and I literally just didn't give a fuck about anything, and I was so comfortable being myself, women just latched onto me. When you're hyper conscious about being liked, what you're saying, all this bullshit, all this nonsense about you being in your head, women are repulsed. I realized very, very fast, energy and emotion or everything is all. That's why shit ain't already. Now, the 3 girls that were massively instrumental in this phase. Number 1 was the girl that I dated. So I was in a long-term relationship for over a year with this girl. Met her in college. We didn't talk. She got her tits done. I slid into her DMs. I started dating her. And we partied a lot. Okay. Now, when I was dating this girl, I was starting my company. Okay. I was starting to work on it. And then I was starting to launch it. And when I started to launch my company, I stopped spending so much money because I needed it for product. It was a physical products business. So when I started this company, and I started investing more into this company, I started paying for less shit. I wasn't cheap, but we were doing less nice things because I was just into the company. I don't really give a fuck to do any of these things, whatever. And I remember this argument like it was yesterday. She got mad at me because I didn't pay for like a $15 drink of hers. And I remember being like, you are the most selfish creature I've ever witnessed in my entire life. And it wasn't just her though. This is women. This is the side of women that most men never see. I'm like, I'm putting all this money into this company, and you can't even grab a $15 fucking drink, as I've taken you on like 5 vacations this year. I took her on like 4 vacations in like 1 year. 5 maybe. 6. I don't even remember. It was a lot of vacations. I took her on like 5 vacations in 1 year. And she starts a fight because I didn't pay for a $15 fucking drink. And I'm like, wow. Like, women are not ride or dies. You have to understand. Like, women are so driven by the value provided in that very moment, like children, right? They don't care how many times you fed them. They're hungry, they're gonna cry. That is a woman. And I remember that argument like it was yesterday. And I remember my eyes just being so opened. I broke up with her shortly after that because I was like, this girl's terrible. But it's not just her. This is just female nature. This is female nature. And I didn't have the frame I would have now to put her in the fuck line, put her in line. And so as a result, there was no coming back. And I was like, fuck this. I'm done. And like when I broke up with her, she's like, you're right. I'm selfish. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, it's too late, bitch. Like, we're done here. We're done. Never talked to her again. Girl number 2, Tulum girl. I've talked about this girl. I met this girl before my ex, who was like the most attractive girl at the time I'd ever fucking been with. I would show my friends and they were like, this girl's not real. Like, is this girl even real? She was that attractive. Okay. Like a legitimate 10 plus. And I obviously, because she was so attractive, fell into the trap of being so fucking in love with this girl. Not like in love, but I was doing shit. I took her to Tulum. We did a trip. I was like, where is this going? I want to be more serious. I mean, like literally the textbook things you should never do, because I fell into the trap of falling for beauty and not maintaining frame, forgetting the fucking game. And so obviously as a result, she used me for the trip and then ghosted me. Literally because I was so transparent, so predictable, so nice, so readable, so much effort, so consistent. It was just disgusting. Like the worst game maybe ever I've ever done. That opened my eyes a lot because I was like, I am responsible for this. As much as I wanted to blame this girl for being a piece of shit, it was entirely my behavior that kamikazed the entire thing. I fell for beauty, lost all my frame, lost all my game, everything collapsed under me. The third girl was right after this long-term relationship, as soon as I started dating. And I was still in boyfriend mode. And this girl was pretty and we had fun. 4 dates, I got her a gift, no intimacy, ghosted me. Now I was like, I need to get my balls back. Like I've completely lost my game because I was in boyfriend mode. I was completely neutered. And my behavior drove all of those women away. Not the long-term relationship, but the 2 girls. My behavior alone drove them away. They were interested, there was chemistry, there was a spark, and I fucked it all up. I got myself ghosted because I was naive and I didn't know how to play the game. It was my behavior and my behavior alone. Now, after I go through all these experiences, I become more of a seasoned vet. Okay, during the seasoned vet time, I started checking things off my ego box when it came to women and dating. You know what? When it came to women and dating. There we go. And so what that means is I started pushing the fucking boundaries of what I could do. Okay, so bunch of fly-ins, bunch of, I went out with a girl that didn't even speak English, like a bunch of things, I don't even want to say them all, a bunch of things I just wanted to do for my ego, to say I fucking could when it came to women dating. And I did them. And that included going after a public figure. Now, I've dated multiple public figures now, but this was a long-term relationship. And at this point, this was just more so for like an ego kick. Like, look at all these guys wanting this girl and she's mine. Like it was just an ego high of knowing that, like when you're dating a public figure, I'm not even gonna call her a celebrity, clickbait me all you want, but she's not getting that much credit. Let's call her a public figure, internet influencer type vibe. So at this stage, I started dating her. I was also single though. This is when honest to God, this is when I learned the darkest sides of women, because when you date a public figure or a girl with a platform, you realize how twisted these people are. Okay, the crazy shit they do. I got out of that relationship and I became way more selective. I achieved full dating dominance and control. At this point, continued. I'm still 28. At this point, there's nothing I haven't done with women. There's nothing I can't do with women. There's nothing I haven't done with dating. Like, it's just, we're at the point of like domination. Truth be told. Like now it's like being really strategic about how I want to wield my power. And I say that in the most humble way possible, but it's like, I can't abuse my power and just like manipulate girls, just hang out with them knowing they want me to be their boyfriend, and I just like hang out with them and use them. Like I can't do that because I know how powerful the power is when you're actually really good with women. With a lot of power comes a lot of responsibility, and that can never be more true. So at this stage, I learned there's a direct correlation. Did I go over this? Yeah. I learned that there's a direct correlation between caring and them liking you. So the less you care about them, the more they love you. Because I got to such a state, such a dating life of abundance at this age and that I'm currently at, I don't care about women. I don't care about them at all. Like, to be quite frank, very, very rarely does my interest get like piqued. I'm like, oh, interesting. Very rarely. Most of the time, I will talk to a girl and I'll forget she exists 3 days later. This happens all the time because there's so many and I don't care, and they just revolving door. And the more I don't care, the more come in. And so yes, obviously I'm going to care about a girl I want to take seriously. And there's been some girls after the past relationship, there's been some. But the point is, the less you care, the more they love you. If you could just act as if this dude, me, act as me, that has so much fucking abundance, you will quickly understand, holy shit, it turns into an energetic loop of more and more women. I also learned that twisted women exist. Like the movies you see, like Gone Girl and shit like that, those women actually exist in real life. Lying about pregnancies, threatening to blackmail you, these things exist. I went through them. And so you can't be naive. You cannot be a man that goes into the dating world thinking, oh, girls are so innocent, sunshine and rainbows, and I'm looking for my princess. There's a dark fucking world that exists of dating and women, and you have to wake the fuck up and get your armor on, get your shield on. This is not a Disney movie, okay? You have been lied to. Once you get it, you get it. Like, I would describe this phase as, like, once you have millions of dollars, it's so easy to make fucking millions of dollars. It's so effortless, it's so easy, and you ever think to yourself, how did I not ever do this? It's just so fun. It just clicks so easy. The reason is, I have all of this experience. Like, that's why it's become so easy, because I have easily 10,000 hours of reps with women. And if you have at least 10,000 hours, it makes you an elite perfectionist or whatever it's called. Like, an expert. So when you have all this experience and you have all these reps, of course it becomes easy. And that's why when I work with clients, I can basically take them from like here to at least here in weeks, because we're condensing 15 years plus of my life into weeks of one-on-one time. And so you leapfrog years of experience, dating, lessons, hardship when it comes to women and dating. That's why you can go from dating sixes in my program in weeks to dating quite literally whoever you want. That's what's possible. And so if you want me to take you there, if you want me to take you from zero game, or maybe your game is like mid, but take you to fucking Yoda level mastery, apply below. I guarantee the program changes your life. If you're not at the stage where you want one-on-one program, I have a starter course below as well. But that's been my whole journey. That's why I'm the guru. That's why I know so much, because I have the scars to fucking show it. See you next video.